Behind this door is where someone lives. If we could go through that door and look at the pictures on their walls and the furniture inside, we could find something out about them. And behind all these doors are the stories of many different people. If we could unlock these doors, we could meet these people and know their stories. What I am concerned with today is answering the question, who holds the keys to these doors?
Which does kind of like logically lead to like my specific project idea, which was more, I guess, an adult. It's based on adult material, I guess, which was someone who sells drugs, specifically marijuana. Now, like in my specific instance, it wasn't about it wasn't about the marijuana. It wasn't about like contemporary social debates involving legalization and all that. It was just like I was interested in like how society portrays certain people.
Mm-hmm.
And how we stereotype people like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to examine if he was really like that. But so I guess I was trying to explore adult subject
Right.
matter, but then I couldn't because I wasn't an adult really.
Right.
But I am kind of.
Right. Well, you're in that median, that gray area,
Mhm.
even as, are you you're a student, not a documentary filmmaker. You're a novice, not an expert. That you're kind of stuck in that gray area, and we want to treat you somewhat like a professional so that hopefully you can become a professional.
Mhm.
But then on the other hand, I think we're going to be a lot more cautious.
You're trying to balance a couple of things. The first one you're balancing, of course, is First Amendment free speech rights. The second area you have to look at, though, is the issue of safety and in the sense, security, and balancing the risks that might be associated with doing that type of project with the benefits that would potentially gain. And then the third to keep in mind is that we are indeed a state agency. We're dealing with state kinds of issues, and you're dealing with starting to fall into questions of legal issues when you start to look at that kind of documentary. Case, what I try and do is try to keep a consistent decision rule in mind. What is the point that I would draw that line, so that I'm not constantly debating back and forth where the line ought to be. I've got a pretty good idea in my mind, at least, where I think that line ought to be.
You can look at the private model or the public institution model as kind of parallel in each other, but even the people at the top of like the Eastern's institution are controlled by people above them, say
Sure.
like society,
Right.
And it becomes interesting who does control what the art is, because if society deemed, well, the artistic or intellectual merit of this piece was worth the risk,
Right.
then there would be no issue.
Well, and then it kind of goes back to a while ago when I was talking about what the end outcome of the meaning of your film is.
Unfortunately, due to time constraints, I used very little of my interviews and did not get to record a conversation with Dr. Graycon, my professor for the class in which I made this film. I did, though, spend a great deal of time reflecting on what all three of them said, and the conclusion I have come to is that we, all of us, as a society, hold the keys to these doors. As a collective of people, we decide which doors are locked and which doors are open for us to explore.